Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Unemployment Diaries. In this episode, I'm gonna do some side hustle experimentation. I have about 5 different side hustle online platforms that I wanna check out, and we're gonna see if they're worth the time. So in order for me to determine whether or not these side hustle options are worth it, I'm going to track a couple things. I'm going to track how long it takes me to do each and then how much I end up making from it. So at the end of the video, I'm hoping that I'll have something like I made $5 per hour of work or something like that. Obviously, $5 per hour of work is not worth it. That's not even minimum wage in the US. All the ones that I'm testing are very easy to do. They are probably things you may have heard about before. You don't have to have any experience to do any of these things. You don't have to really invest into any of them. As long as you have internet access and a phone or computer, then you can do these. So that's why I wanted to try these 5 because it's basically applicable to pretty much anyone. So I'm going to run this experiment from Tuesday to Friday and then finish up the final day on Monday to give like a full work week to see how effective all of these side hustle options were. So I tried creating a data annotation account months ago and I never completed it. So I ended up deleting that account and making a new one with a different email address. And it says, thanks for signing up. We don't have any open projects to assign you at this time. And to fill out your profile, which is not what happened the last time that I tried to sign up for this. It made me fill out an assessment and I guess it's not doing that anymore. So I'm going to go in and fill out this profile and then look into this a little bit more to see if maybe something has changed with how dataannotation.tech works. So I'm gonna check that out and get back to you. All right, so I tried logging back into this new account in a different browser and it's still telling me that there is no projects opened. And I went on to Reddit and some people were saying that it's very sensitive and it depends on the browser. Some people said it took a few days for them to get the assessment, but what I did was reach out to support and ask them about why I didn't get the assessment because I don't have a couple days to wait around to film this video. So right now, the data annotation part is just in limbo until I can figure out why I can't take the assessment or do anything. So as far as this being a good way to make side hustle income, it's not looking very good upon the initial startup and setup for this. So hopefully they get back to me before the end of this video so I can fill you in on what happens and maybe try to do some work on this website. So the next side hustle option we're going to look at is Respondent.io. I already have an account for this website and I have used it a little bit, but I haven't made any money yet. So Respondent is a research study site and it allows you to submit a survey 3 times a day to see if you can get into one of these studies. I have submitted maybe 5 to 10 of these and I was never selected. So I was spending time filling out a survey for a study that I never got selected for. So I have not made any money yet. However, some of the studies pay really well. Some of them pay between $50 to $100 an hour. So if you are somehow able to get selected for a study, it can be pretty profitable. So for the duration of this video, I'm going to log into this every day, fill out my 3 surveys and see if I get selected. So I'm going to jump into this right now. The first one that I'm seeing is for something that is not available in my state. So sometimes that does happen, even though it's a remote opportunity, they still won't let you participate unless you're in a certain state. There's a new skincare app that's $40 for 30 minutes, which is a one-on-one, which is pretty good. $40 for 30 minutes is like a decent amount of money. Website usability, 30 minutes in office, for $35. Looking for medical students. I'm not a medical student. So some of these aren't going to apply to everybody. And some of them do pay out really well. They're seeking chronic medical conditions for in-person research in Philadelphia, and it's a 60-minute one-on-one, and they're paying $175. So that's a lot of money for 1 hour, but I'm not in Philadelphia. I might try the skincare app and the website usability. So I'm gonna fill a couple of these out and see how they go, see if I'm eligible for these research studies. Okay, so I just filled out my 3 screeners for today, and I would say altogether it took me about 15 minutes to go through and fill out the surveys and just find surveys that matched for me. So that was 15 minutes of work that I could potentially not be making any money from. I will be notified in an email if I am selected for any of those surveys. So I will follow back up with you if I do get selected for that. So the third side hustle that I am going to look at is Pinecone Research. And I already have an account with them. I have done 1 or 2 studies for them in the past. They pay based on a point system, so typically it's like 100 points per survey. Then you can cash those points in for various different things. So I'll go into detail more about that later, but they did send me a study yesterday in my email saying that it was available. So I'm going to fill out this study. I cannot show you any of the study information at all because they want you to be completely alone when you do your studies. So like no one in your home can even see what you're doing, and you cannot discuss the studies that you're in at all. So I'm not going to be able to really go into detail about this one, but I'm gonna start the timer on my phone and see how long it takes me to complete this study. Okay, so I started that survey. It was 3 minutes and 39 seconds, and then I didn't match their qualifications for the survey, so I'm not getting any points for the 3 minutes that I spent doing that. So I'm gonna go to my homepage and see if maybe there is, hold on, I'm gonna move you up a little bit, see if maybe there's something else that I can do. Okay, so it says that I have 4 studies available, so I'm gonna get started on those and then I'll get back to you. Okay, so I just did 2 surveys and they were profiler surveys, so they were just trying to figure out more about me. And so those are non-paid surveys. So I spent about 2 minutes doing those. So that's 2 minutes of work I'm not going to get paid for. I do have another survey option here, so I'm hoping this one I'm going to get paid for. Okay, so I'm 1 minute and 30 seconds in, and I did not qualify for that survey. So I'm not going to get paid for that either. So I just completed a survey on Pinecone Research, and it took me 30 minutes, which was a lot of time. That's actually one of the longest surveys I've ever done. So I'm hoping it was worth more than 100 points, which is what I typically get for the survey, because I think if I am correct on my research, 100 points is only $1. So if I just spent 30 minutes doing $1's worth of answering research questions, that's just like totally not worth it. Sorry guys, Yingling wants to say hi, so I'll just sit here so you can say hi to Yingling. Yeah, that was surprising. I thought it was only going to take 20 minutes because that's kind of what it said, the estimated time, and it took way longer than that, and it was kind of boring. I was like, I'm ready for this to be done. So at this point on day 1, we applied to data annotation. We're waiting to hear back to see why we're not getting the starter assessment. I applied to 3 different research studies on Respondent. That's the max I can do for 1 day, so I may or may not be accepted into those studies. And I did a few on Pinecone Research. Most of them do not count as a paid study. That last one did. When you do a paid study on Pinecone Research, it does take a few days for those points to be added to your system. And I'm pretty sure there's 1 or 2 surveys left, but honestly, after that, I'm just like not interested in doing anymore because that was too much. Hey everyone, welcome back. And today is day 2 of trying out side hustles for a week, but it's been quite a few weeks later. If you've seen my other videos or looked at my YouTube community tab, I mentioned that I was sick for about 2-3 weeks and I just could not finish filming this video. I actually tried to film day 2, and every time I started talking to the camera, I would sneeze or my nose would just be running, and it was just an absolute disaster. So I am going to refilm day 2 and pick up where we left off. So day 1, we looked at Respondent and we also looked at Pinecone Research. And I tried to log into data annotation, but it wasn't working. It wasn't giving me that initial assessment. And while I was sick, I sent a second support email because they never responded back. So I'm going to log into that account now and see if they ever responded to me or not. It says, thanks for signing up. Do not have any open projects right now. So far, it looks the same. There's no assessment. And I'm going into direct messages and my inbox, and there's nothing. So I'm going to reach out to support again for the 3rd time and see if they'll ever respond back. So far, it's not looking very promising. And the fact that you can't respond to 2 emails within a month is just really not looking that good for you. So I'm going to send this now. So I'm going to go on to Respondent now. And while I was sick, I did get an email saying that they were doing an in-person one-on-one focus group in Pittsburgh. So I did fill that out and I haven't heard back. So all the stuff that I filled out before I got sick on day 1, I never heard back from. So far, all the time and effort I've put into this site has not gained me any profit at all. So I'm gonna just hop on here and fill out my 3 screeners for the day and see if I can get a response. Okay, so I just got done filling out all of my screeners for Respondent. Remember, you get 3 a day. I don't think I'm gonna be picked for any of them because I don't really think I'm exactly what they're looking for, but it took me 9 minutes and 23 seconds to complete that. So I'm gonna log that into this little Word document, Google document that I'm creating, just to keep track of how long it's taking me to do everything. I didn't do this on day 1, so I'm gonna have to go back and do this. And then after I do this, I'm going to jump into Pinecone Research and see if there's any studies or anything there to fill out for today. So I just logged into Pinecone Research, and this is more of like a survey site. And so far, I've only made $1 per survey. So it's not looking like this one's going to be really worth my while, but I have 2 studies available. So I'm going to start them and I'm going to track each study because they can really vary in time. So I'm going to start both of these and I'll let you know how long it takes me to complete them. So I just got done with the 2 surveys that were on Pinecone Research. The first one I spent 2 minutes and 27 seconds on and I was disqualified, so I did not get any points for that. And the second one, I will be getting points for that, and that took me 8 minutes and 58 seconds. I am going to go on to the 3rd website that I'm testing, which is Swagbucks. Swagbucks is not new at all. It's been around for a really long time, and I have used it before in the past, but I stopped using it because I didn't think it was worth it. Swagbucks is primarily known for taking surveys, so you answer a bunch of questions and they give you Swagbuck points that you can later redeem. But since it's early days, when I first signed up to it, you can also get cash back from grocery shopping, online shopping. You can play games and earn swag points, which is something that I experimented with while I was sick. You also can answer daily trivia questions and stuff like that for 1 Swagbucks point. And I believe 100 Swagbucks is worth $1. So this is my account, and this is the game that I was talking about. This game, you could earn the most rewards. So while I was sick that week and didn't film, this is what I ended up playing. It was called Game of Vampires, and I spent several hours playing this, and all I earned was 180 Swagbuck points. So that was $1.80. I would say that I probably play this game an hour for maybe 3 or 4 days. So it took me about 4 hours of work just to make $1.80, which isn't really a lot. This might be a really great option for you to make some extra cash on your gameplay, but for someone like me, it really doesn't mean anything. It's really not worth my time. So now I'm gonna pull up the magic receipts. So any receipt gives you 1 Swagbucks point, and if you buy any of these featured items, you can get a lot more Swagbuck points. So for example, right now, if you got these spooky Tyson nuggets, then you would get $6 if you were able to scan a receipt from Walmart showing that you purchased that. So that's actually pretty worthwhile. I have said this before when I mention fetch apps, but I don't buy name brand stuff. I don't buy a lot of name brand products at all. So pretty much everything that they're showing on this list, I don't buy. So that's not really worth it to me. But let's go to answer and see if we can find a way that fits with my lifestyle for me to make some Swagbucks. Okay, so I took a couple more surveys. One took me a minute. I got 2 Swagbuck points, and I just took one for 75 Swagbuck points, and it took me about 15 minutes to complete. So now I have 704 Swagbuck points, and I think I've been sitting here for maybe 30 minutes. I did try to do a few others, and they said that I didn't qualify for it, so it just canceled it out. I'm gonna call it done for today with my little experiment, and then tomorrow I'm gonna come back for day 3, and we're gonna try another way to make money, another site that I found online. I still have to finish registering for it. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to day 3 of testing side hustles. So I just filled out my account for the next side hustle website that I'm going to test, and that's called UserTesting.com. It is going to take a couple days for me to hear back from them because I had to take a practice test, and once that is approved, then I can start earning money. So if once you get approved into user testing, then you'll review websites and products and give live recorded feedback to different companies. And once you do that, they will pay you through PayPal. I have seen a few people talking about this on TikTok, and it seems to be pretty lucrative. I know that some people don't like the idea of sharing your screen with companies or being recorded, but I don't really mind because it seems like this is a pretty trusted website. Everything seems safe, and I don't feel weird about being recorded, obviously. So we're gonna give this a try in a couple days once that practice test has been approved. You do have to have a verified PayPal account in order to connect everything. You have to fill out a profile, and then the practice test takes about 7 minutes. So we're just gonna look at Pinecone Research. We'll see if there's any new studies there. All right, I have no surveys available today at Pinecone Research, but I did get 100 points for the survey I completed yesterday. So right now I have a total of 400 points, and since I started this little trial, I have gained 300 points, which is $3. So that's what I've made so far. So let's check Swagbucks. Okay, I just finished a survey on Swagbucks. It took me 11 minutes and I got 53 points for it. So that's 53 cents for 11 minutes. And then I also got another 3 Swagbucks because I hit some daily goal or something. So when I logged in, I was at 704 Swagbucks, and now I'm at 738. Good morning. We're back for day 4, and once again, it's been quite a few days since I sat down to film this video. Day 3 was a little bit over a week ago, and unfortunately, I had a family emergency come up where I had to go back to my hometown to be with my family, and I'm not going to get into that in this video. I am going to publish a life job search update video later to talk about basically what's been going on in my life and my job search in that video. So that one should be published after this one. So we're just going to start off with day 4. And I just logged in to check to see if my practice test from user testing that I did on day 3 is still in review, and it is. It said in the email they sent me that the practice test may take up to a week to review, and it's been just slightly over a week, so that's still in the review, so I'm not going to get to try that one out yet. And I'm going to look back into data annotation. I've sent them 5 messages through support now about why I wasn't able to take the starter assessment, and I still haven't heard back. And I'm looking in my inbox now from data annotation, and I have no responses, and the website says thanks for signing up, we don't have any projects to assign in this moment. So data annotation is still not working, and the fact that support has been ignoring my 5 messages, it's been over a month since I sent my first one, doesn't look very good for them. So because I cannot get into those 2, I am going to just jump into Respondent and fill out my 3 screeners and see if there's anything that is applicable to me. So far throughout this process, I have not heard back from any of the screeners that I've done to continue on to any of the research studies. So far I have made absolutely nothing from this website. Just checking back in. So I did 2 studies on Pinecone research, and that took me 14 minutes and 47 seconds. So I have to wait to get the points for those. But then I did hop onto Swagbucks, and I tried to take a few surveys, but I was disqualified from a lot of them. So I'm going to try a new side hustle site today. It's called DScout, and it is an app that you can put on your phone. And you do have to fill out applications to see if you're eligible, just like Respondent. Sometimes they do have express surveys that you can just take right then and there. I've seen one other person talk about this, and they seem to make quite a bit of money off of this. So I'm going to fill out these applications to see if I qualify for them. And if I do, then I would be asked to continue part of the study. And then I would end up getting a payment for that. For example, this one says help us improve our surveys, and it pays $75. And it says in the study we'll be examining how you process and understand a series of survey questions. Please note that the spots fill quickly, and it would be a live mission. So most of these you do have to be on camera for, which I've said before that I don't mind. So I'm going to begin the application for this and see if I can get qualified. Okay, I just spent almost 15 minutes applying to missions on DScout, and there was only one I was able to fully submit an application. All the other ones I was disqualified for. I have found it really hard to get qualified for different things because I'm unemployed and I'm not buying anything. So I'm really not consuming anything. I'm not working. So I tend to get taken out of things because of that. I'm not a really big consumer even when I am working. I just don't consume much stuff. I don't shop a lot. I'm very strategic with purchasing things, and I'm pretty frugal. So I'm obviously not the best person to be asking about like products and shopping habits and things like that anyway. But yeah, that's like the status so far. So today altogether, I've spent about a half hour looking into all of this and doing my side hustle stuff, and I think I've only made like $2.61 for a half hour of work today. That's like a rough estimate. Hey everyone, so today is the 5th and final day of my side hustle experiment, and unfortunately my user testing application that I submitted a week and 2 days ago has not yet been approved. It does say on their frequently asked questions help support section that it takes up to a week, but it can be longer depending on how many applications they have. Because I have already prolonged this video several times, I don't want to keep prolonging it anymore. So I've already gone through and did all of my side hustles today. I also checked data annotation to see if they responded to my 5th outreach, and they have not. So the support at data annotation is non-existent apparently, but I did log on to Pinecone Research, Respondent, and DScout and Swagbucks today. So Pinecone Research, I did one survey for 6 minutes and I got 100 points, which is equal to $1. On Respondent, I did 3 screeners, which took me 4 minutes, and the screeners don't give you any rewards. So far, I have not been asked to follow up on any of the screeners that I have completed since I started this video a month ago. So that's not looking very good. Today for DScout, I did fill out an application to be involved in a research study. That application took 4 minutes. There was no reward for that. They do have to follow up to see if they want me to participate in their survey. If they do, it is a virtual one-on-one survey, and I believe it said it was 60 or 75 minutes, and they were paying $75 for that. So that is a decent amount of money if I get accepted into that, but I'm not going to know today. It may take a couple weeks for them to reach back out to me. And then for Swagbucks, I logged in and did the daily poll, the daily question they had, and then I tried to do some surveys. So I stayed on there for 25 minutes and I made 103 Swagbucks, or $1.03. So that's it for day 5. And I am going to look through every single day and total up all these numbers and then just do a wrap up of what I think, what my experience is, and my overall thoughts. Okay, everybody, I'm going to just go over the final tally of everything. And if you hear like a weird purring type noise in the background, it's because Yingling is over on my bed purring very, very loudly. I'm gonna start off with Respondent, and I spent 26 minutes and 37 seconds filling out the screeners for that, and I never heard anything back, so I made $0 doing that. Pinecone Research, I spent 79 minutes, 21 seconds, and I earned 500 points, or $5. For Swagbucks, I spent 96 minutes and 42 seconds, and I earned 370 Swagbucks, or $3.70. Data annotation did not work at all. Their support team did not respond to the 5 messages that I sent, so I earned nothing from that. DScout, I spent 18 minutes and 50 seconds, and I never qualified or heard back from any of the applications that I filled out, so I made $0 on that. UserTesting has not approved my test exam, so I have no rewards for that. And I forgot to track how long it took me to do the exam, but I think it was about 7 minutes. So my grand total across all the platforms was 3 hours and 41 minutes and 30 seconds. And my total earnings was $8.70. So that ended up being $2.63 per hour, which is really not that much money at all. I believe that the federal minimum wage is currently $7.50. So not even close to that minimum wage. So these side hustles did not end up being fruitful at all. So I do have 900-ish Swagbuck points from prior to doing this side hustle video. Unfortunately, Swagbucks doesn't let you cash out on your points until you're at 1,500. So that would be $15. So I am going to continue to use swag points until I get to the 1,500 Swagbucks, where I can cash that out for a $15 gift card. For Respondent and DScout, even though I wasn't selected for any of the research studies, if you do get selected, they do have a pretty big payout. I noticed that they were typically $50 to $150 per hour that you could potentially be paid for. And the screeners and the applications do take only a few minutes to fill out. So I think that that is maybe worth it if you just have like a couple minutes while you're waiting for something, or waiting for the bus, or waiting at an appointment, or have a couple minutes at night before you go to bed where you could fill those out and then maybe get selected for a survey. Because if you do, $50 an hour is a pretty good amount of money. So I am gonna continue filling those out occasionally. I'm probably not going to do it every single day. And if I do end up getting selected for one of those research studies, I definitely plan on following up with that in another side hustle video. I also want to follow up with user testing in another video, since my testing assessment didn't get approved yet, because I did hear a lot of people say that you can make some decent money on that. So I might end up doing just a complete part 2 of side hustles, or I was thinking about maybe doing some sort of like monthly challenge. I feel like a part of the reason why this didn't work that well for me is because I'm unemployed and I'm not shopping a lot. I'm not really a big shopper, and I typically also don't buy name brand items, so there's no way that I'm gonna get points from Swagbucks for buying big name brand things. And I also don't play games on my phone, so maybe if you are someone that does do any of those things, then these sites would work out better for you. I would like to pursue more advanced side hustle options like print on demand, digital projects, Amazon KDP. So think that I am going to continue experimenting with different side hustles and maybe film a couple of those for some upcoming videos. So if there is a side hustle that you want me to experiment with or you want me to check out, let me know in the comments below and I would be happy to look into that. So I do want to mention one other thing, and that is that during the process of filming this video, we hit 1,000 subscribers. So I want to thank all of my subscribers and everyone that watches all my videos for helping me get to that achievement. I'm really excited and really happy about that. And if you've seen my community post, I did mention that I wanted to do like a celebration video, and everyone that voted said they would be interested in doing a Q&A style video. So if you have any questions for me at all, whether it's about me personally, my life, my unemployment journey, what it's like being on YouTube, or anything like that, let me know in the comments below. You can also send me an email and you can DM me on my Instagram. All that information is going to be down below in the description box. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about my side hustle results in the comments. I really would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on these side hustles. I can't wait to connect with you in another video.